Hello and welcome to Denim and Pearls. My name is Janet and I will be showing you today my very first ever video. It is a shopping haul and a cook with me crockpot video. So stay tuned and I'll show you what we got. Okay, so we got everything for under $120 at Stater Brothers today, which I thought was a really great deal. I picked up 2 of the 3 packs of tissues because they were on sale, and we needed to replace our dishwasher tablets. And I just love Pledge. Pledge smells so wonderful. It's my favorite dusting polish by far. And then we needed some softener, and we really like this brand. It's nice to the earth. It also has a really beautiful scent of lavender. So this is Full Circle Market. If you want to look for that in your grocery store, it really does smell nice. And then I have several meals that I'm planning this week. So I got carrots that will be incorporated into 2 or 3 of the meals we'll be having this week. I love to have celery on hand, either to eat raw or to put in my meals. We got some red pepper and some garlic and onion. You can never have too much garlic and onion. And I love to have bananas around because I like to eat those in the morning. And these nice little baby potatoes, the baby red potatoes, you know, they're wonderful to roast or to pop in the crock pot. So we got 2 of the rice pilafs. We'll use one this week with a chicken dish that I'm planning. And I got some sourdough, which we like for sandwiches or to soak up soup, or you know, just to have toast. Sourdough's so yummy. My daughter is going to make some dark chocolate, I can't wait, brownies, and Ghirardelli, I mean, come on. And then we've got the red Powerade for my daughter. And okay, so this was my impulse buy. I really saw that they were on sale for 99 cents, and I said, let's get those. We got some apple fritters today for breakfast, and we'll be using the egg noodles later in the week for a recipe. I got 2 ground beef packets, and you can never have too much bacon. We can make BLTs, we can have it for breakfast. And then I go to the butcher block and I get chicken breasts, and we buy the big ones because I'm not a big meat eater, but this will feed my daughter and I for a meal. And so I got 2 chicken breasts, got some large eggs, 18 count. And then we also got these steaks that were on sale for a wonderful price. These are New York steaks, and I have a couple of recipes for this week that we're going to use those in. And these were on sale, these vegetables. Now, I don't normally buy this type of a vegetable, but because they were on sale, it was a pretty good deal, and I thought, well, I can incorporate one into a meal that I had planned and use the other one for a side. And of course, you know, tater puffs. You got to have tater puffs in the house. And I got some taco seasoning, and we're going to try this Swedish meatballs. I tried this years and years ago, and it just sounded really good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try that this week sometime. And we always keep the cream of chicken soup on hand because it's just really handy for lots and lots of recipes. And I'll be using this petite diced tomatoes with the chilies. We'll be using that in today's recipe. Have to replace our milk, and we got onion salt by mistake, so I'll be taking it back. I really wanted the onion powder. Thankfully, we're not completely out of onion powder, so we don't need it today, and I'll be able to run up to the store tomorrow. Anyway, stick with me. I'm going to put these groceries away, and then we'll get started on making Albondigas soup. Okay, so welcome back, and I'm going to show you how I make Albondigas soup. It's not a traditional Mexican dish, but it's really good, it's really hearty, and we love it. So let me show you what we're going to be using. I have a pound of ground beef, and these are petite diced tomatoes with mild chilies in it. Use what you like. If you don't like chunks of tomato, just get tomato sauce. You can do that. You can use salsa. Use what you like. I'll be using a little bit of this taco seasoning for the broth. I'm using 2 stalks of celery and 2 carrots, half a brown onion. I'll be using a portion of the red bell pepper, a little bit of cooking spray, some onion powder, and some garlic powder. Oh, and a little bit of garlic. So let me get started here. First thing I'm going to do is give my crock pot a nice spray around the edges and the bottom. Spray that way it makes for a much easier cleanup at the end. And I also forgot, I use beef bouillon cube. This is by Knorr, so you can use beef broth if you prefer. I like this because I can buy in bulk and use it for multiple recipes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll start with the onion. And I'm sure most of you know how to cut an onion, but we'll just walk through it just in case. I always take off the little end, and then for soups, you kind of want a nice large dice. So you just kind of go through. Don't cut all the way through to the bulb, and leave your bulb on because that's going to keep it together. And then with your flat hand, take your knife and go ahead and slice through, okay? And then you're just going to cut. And then these parts. And that uses your entire onion. So, everybody in the pool. My daughter's filming for me, so just thought I would let y'all know that this won't be a regular occurrence, but I'm really thrilled to have her here doing so. Okay, and the veggies, I'd say maybe about a 1-inch size on all of them would be really good. And I already took my carrots and my celery and cleaned them and peeled my carrots. Otherwise I would, be pulling them apart. I wanted to try to get as much together and done before we started as I could. My daughter really likes carrots, so I'm putting extra in for her. I just love the rhythm of the knife. It's so soothing. I think that's what I really enjoy about cooking, is just kind of the repetitiveness. And if you make sure your tip stays down on the cutting board and just glide through with the back, always keeping your finger off the blade. That's how accidents happen. Okay, a couple of these are pretty big, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them in half. Oh my goodness, these smell like sweet carrots. Okay, now I still have the paper on this garlic, and to get that off gently, make sure that your blade side is away from your hand. Okay, just lay it down here and give it a good whack. Okay, and then the papers come off pretty easy if you do that, generally. Okay. It looks like I have a little bit of a bad spot in this one, so I'm going to try to cut that off. There we go. Excuse me. Okay. Now I'm going to cut the bell pepper. I'm only going to use a bit of it. I want to get all those papers from the garlic off. So I'm only going to use half, and then I'll reserve half for another meal. So again, I want to try to stay at the same, you want to cut out the ribs here. I want to stay at the same 1-inch pieces if possible. So we are going to be getting ready for Christmas today. We'll be setting up all our decor. I hope to video some of that and share that with you when I'm all done. Boy, that onion was strong. It kind of was a delayed reaction. My eyes just burned. Okay. Now this is pretty soft, but I like to kind of cut it up to help it dissolve a little bit. You don't have to, you can just pop it in and it'll probably dissolve just fine, but I don't want to have any big chunks of saltiness later. Okay, so that's it for the vegetables. Oh, except for the tomatoes. Now, my favorite implement in my kitchen, we call the Holy Guy. I have had the Holy Guy probably for 34 years, okay? He's been through the ringer, and it took me a very, very long time, probably about 30 years, before I found another Holy Guy and his mate. So this is my favorite mixing. I use this for everything. I use it to make eggs. I use it to beat batters. It just is really my favorite utensil when I'm cooking. And I would hate to ever give him up. So, alrighty. That's all in there. I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to get the stuff down so that I can get my meatballs together, and I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I got the meat in the bowl, and I really don't measure when I cook. I just kind of season to what I think my family's tastes are, and it's always, had good results for me. But for those of you who might want measurements, I would say, well, I pulled out a teaspoon, and I think half a teaspoon would be even better. And for the purposes of my family and the way I cook, I'm just gonna go ahead and, this is my onion powder. I'm gonna give a couple of shakes across. That looks good to me, okay? That looks like enough. And I'm gonna do the same with the garlic powder. Just kind of what I feel we kind of like. And excuse me, I'm going to open up the taco seasoning. Now here I might go ahead and use just a teaspoon. Now you might like more. We kind of like mild food. I don't even use the whole packet when I'm making tacos. I do half a packet per pound of meat as a general rule. That's kind of just what we like. So, and I don't put breadcrumbs in this. I just kind of let it all incorporate. It's just meat. It's and a few flavors. My mom taught me to make this. She doesn't put any seasoning in it at all. She just lets the seasoning come from the broth. So this is how I learned, and I've tried it with rice. It was a big family reject, so I went back to what I know, and this kind of serves us well. Okay, I'm gonna have to go in with my hands. Okay, now I brought out the scoop, but again, what's the point in doing that? You just want to get it all mixed up together. I don't put egg in it. I just make a bunch of little meatballs, and I have pre-cooked them before. Honestly, the soup tastes so much better when you do them. I just make them about this size. It's not a golf ball size. It might be the size of a chocolate covered cherry. And once you do it a few times, you'll kind of get used to the size that you need. You can put bread or cracker crumbs or whatever you like. I'm not saying not to. I'm just telling you this is the way I do it. It's the way I was taught. I know in traditional Albondigas, they generally use rice as a stretcher. And to me, this makes a dense but really nice meatball. It has nice flavor generally, and we enjoy it. So let me just make these up, and I'll show you our next step. Okay, so I've got all the meatballs all formed. You can take a little look here. So that'll be a nice amount for each of us to have. And now I'm going to work on the broth. I will go ahead and sprinkle a bit more taco seasoning in so that it has that nice flavor. And the meatballs and all the vegetables will absorb all this flavoring. So I'm just going to sprinkle it in there. Okay. And again, I'm going to just put a little bit of onion powder just across. And I'm going to be very very gentle with the garlic powder because it's got garlic in here and garlic powder in the meatballs. Okay, so there's 2 cups of water here. And ideally, you want to come up to cover the meatballs. And I think actually I'm going to put another 1/2 cup in. It is going to emit a little bit more, but I like a really brothy soup. So I'm just going to add just a bit more. And at this point, I'm going to give it a bit of a stir. Make sure all those flavors and seasonings are kind of incorporated throughout. Now it's 1 o'clock here, and we like to eat by 6. So we will probably set it on high and get this done as quickly as possible. I lost my little plug thing here, so what we do is we just take a little bit of a paper towel and I just stuff it down in here. So, okay, so power on, and I want to select 4 hours on high, and I guess that's it. Okay. So we'll see you in 4 hours and show you the finished product. I can't wait. Okay, so it's been 4 hours. Let's take a look and see what we got. Whew, we got steam. That looks pretty good. Okay, everything looks cooked really nicely. I'm going to go ahead and serve some of this up. And I did remember after I put everything together that I had forgotten to put salt and pepper in the meat and in the broth. So I did come back and salt and pepper at least the broth. So we're gonna have this with some nice sourdough bread, and my daughter has some brownies cooking in the oven. They smell delicious. They'll be ready real soon also. So this is very hot. I'm really eager to try it for you, but I'm a bit hesitant to burn my mouth. So it's exactly what a cool winter day needs. Is a nice brothy bowl of soup. If you like this video, I hope that you'll give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot.